Toastmaster?
Sure.
So you know I am recording this, so if you're here with someone you shouldn't be here with. It's a little coincidental the way Bill introduced me through my background because, you know, as I talk about power partnerships tonight, I come to that topic because describing to people what I do for a living is a challenge. I'm a regional news director for Raycom Media. I used to be the news director of WTOC in Savannah. It was quite easy for me to describe that job. I managed the newsroom. I decided what got on the news, what didn't get on the news. Now as a regional news director, I manage and work with 8 different news directors and newsrooms in the Southeast region. One of the things I work on with these newsrooms and these news directors is leadership skills. It's a little ironic because I'm here at Toastmaster because I want to work on becoming a better leader, but one of my job duties is to help people become better leaders. So to help inform myself and learn not only to make myself a better leader, make the news directors I work with a better leader, there's a number of books and articles that I use. I want to show you 2 of them. One, Tina Fey Boston Pants is one of the best management books you'll ever read. It is, there's a very large, you wouldn't think this, there's a large section in here as to what she learned from Lord Michaels as a manager and how it applied to her. She is ascended to become both the head writer for Saturday Night Live and the executive producer and creator of her show, 30 Rock, sorry. Another book I wanted to tell you about, and I'm not just showing you this because the person who I'm recording this for wrote this book, but it's called Work Happy, What Great Bosses Do. And it's a wonderful book, and it really gives you a great education on how to be a better and more effective leader. But the book I want to talk to you about tonight, and the tips I'm going to give you tonight, I physically don't have the book because I actually downloaded the digital version of it. It's on the iPad that I'm using to record this. But it's a book that I stumbled onto almost accidentally in one of my many road trips driving, and I listen to a lot of podcasts. And there was a podcast I listened to with Michael Eisner, the former CEO of Disney. And he was talking about his new book called Working Together, What Makes Great Partnerships Succeed. And it is a wonderful book, and it's basically about 10 short stories, and it looks at these 10 different partnerships of people and how they work together to become a successful partnership. And it is my firm belief to be a great leader, you need a great partner. Not one person can't do this alone. So through this book, I've really become enthralled and fascinated with the idea of partnerships and really give great credence to not only finding good partners for myself, but also for the managers that I work with. Now this book looked at, Michael Eisner started with his own partnership with Frank Wells, who was the COO of Disney. And the premise of this book, and for those who follow this and may have a recollection, when Michael Eisner was offered the CEO job at Disney, the chairman, actually wanted to make Michael Eisner and Frank Wells co-CEO because they each brought different skill sets to the job, and he then decided between the 2. And Eisner said, no, that just will not work. Someone has to be the number 1, someone has to be the number 2. And that really got Michael Eisner thinking a lot about partnership. So in this book, he looked at his partnership with Frank Wells, Warren Buffett's partnership with Charlie Munger, Bill Gates' partnership with his wife Melinda, the Joe Torre's partnership with Don Zimmer when he was manager of the Yankees, and Arthur Blank's partnership with Bernie Marcus. Now, through the course of this book and my interest in it, I began doing more research and looked for other research material and content, and I found it. And in the end, and in my presentation I make to these news directors, I've put together kind of this list of tips, 5 tips of what makes great partnership. So first I want to talk about finding accountability. As a leader, it is critical for you to set the vision of the organization, but it's equally critical for you to set or to communicate that vision and have that lieutenant who can help you carry it out. As news director, and even now in my current job, we'd have discussions about what it is, what our goal was. And everyone would have a different way of getting there, and that's okay, because I always like to say there's varying degrees of work, and that really is applicable in this instance. My second tip is to celebrate your partner's strength. It is, as you lay out that vision and you set a strategic plan, everyone must know what their job and the role is in that partnership. Back to the Michael Eisner book, when he talked to Don Zimmer and Joe Torre is a tactician. For those that remember him from the Braves days, remember how he always had his notebook. Don Zimmer managed and coached through emotion. So when Torre would look at the book and say the numbers say this, Zimmer would pull him back sometimes and say, no, let him go, he's got the eye. 3, know when to call truce. When you have strong leadership, you're going to have strong discussions, and that's okay. Strong discussions lead to good outcomes. You also have to know when it's time for the discussion to be over with and to move forward. Number 4 is take advantages of the differences. It's why I see managers who don't succeed in their partnerships, it's because they tend to want to hire someone who's like them, not someone who complements. And it is a critical element to make sure that when you look for your partner, that it's someone who's going to make you better. 5, don't be afraid of dialogue. You must have discussions. We, as Bill knows in the news business, a lot of days start with the morning meeting. And it's through discussions, and sometimes it's innocent discussions of movies, what you did over the weekend that lead the story. So always, don't always have the dialogue. Don't be afraid to have it. So my periotation on this is why do we need strong partners? Strong partnerships lead to certain things. Strong, successful partnerships lead to trust. It leads to teamwork. It teaches you regard for someone else, and it really creates this great sense of checks and balances. So I want to leave you with one last thought. This too came out of the book, and it's a quote from Bill Gates. And I think we can all conclude Bill successfully said, "I've never done anything so except for the take test." So find a good partner. Thank you.